welcome back to Lead Off. We got you some NBA highlights earlier in the show, but we have a lot more to get to when it comes to the NBA. So we thought we'd bring in our guy, Zach Harper from CBSSports.com via Skype. You can also follow Zach on Twitter @TalkHoops. He's a great follow. Hey, Zach, how you doing?
I'm excellent. How are you?
Let's talk about the struggling Nets. They're 3-7 on the season, and of course, all their star players are resting injuries, are hurt. They called an all-players meeting. Jason Kidd says it's all his fault. Who's to blame for the struggling Nets so far this season?
Everybody. Everyone's to blame. Deron Williams is hurt. Brook Lopez has been pretty good, but not great. Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce haven't shown up for the season yet. I don't know where Andre Kirilenko is. Joe Johnson can't hit a shot. They're talking about how Jason Kidd isn't even calling plays. His assistants are calling the offense and the defense. It's just a complete mess. But, hey, at least they're spending a lot of money.
Do you think this was too quick of a jump for Jason Kidd? I mean, I know he had the DUI charge, which is just a small bump in the road. But if he's not even calling plays, if he's not making sure these guys are getting their rehab done the right way, they're not communicating the right way, do you think he's in over his head?
He might be now. I mean, 3 months from now, we might not feel this way. He might look like a great coach, but as of right now, he didn't have any experience outside of a phenomenal Hall of Fame playing career. And there have been plenty of coaches that didn't start as assistants. Doc Rivers didn't really have a coaching career, and he stepped out of the booth into the sidelines, and he was fantastic. And same with Mark Jackson. He had a tough year, and now he figured it out. Jason Kidd will have time to figure it out, and he has the players, but right now it's just really awkward.
There's only one way for the Nets to go, and that's up at $101 million. Their payroll is certainly something that everybody's talking about. I want to shift our focus to the Northwest Division, and the biggest surprise in the NBA to this point, according to most experts, has been the play of the Portland Trail Blazers. Terry Stotts' team blitzed out of the gates and has been so impressive in the early going this season. What impresses you most about Portland?
I'm a guy that loves outside shooting, so I love their outside shooting. They're shooting like 43% from three-point range right now. I don't know if that'll sustain, but even if they drop to 38, 39%, that's going to be a phenomenal percentage for them. They have a bench. Last year they had, maybe the worst bench of the last 10, 20, 30 years. I mean, it was really bad. You had Sasha Pavlovich involved. That's not good for anybody. But now you have Mo Williams, you have Thomas Robinson, you have Darrell Wright coming off the bench. They still have to get C.J. McCollum back. I mean, this team is deep. And they're running this team between Damian Lillard and LaMarcus Aldridge. They just look fantastic. I mean, it's a real fun team to watch.
The Blazers have not won a playoff series since the year 2000. Is it a realistic expectation for Rip City to advance in the playoffs this year? They certainly have the look of a team that will certainly make the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I guess right now the key for them is, can they sneak into one of those home court advantage? I mean, it's still so early in the season. We have so many teams, like you have the Spurs, the Warriors, the Rockets, the Thunder, the Clippers. I mean, those are all teams that are going to be vying for home court advantage. But if you get out to a start like this and you can maintain, you get the 4 seed and you're going against the 5 seed and you have home court advantage, yeah, I think you can upset and maybe move to the second round, especially the way they're playing.
Zach, let's go to Cleveland and talk about my struggling Cleveland Cavaliers, who are in complete disarray right now. You think coming into the season it's going to be a good year. You have Kyrie Irving, arguably the best up-and-coming point guard in the league. Dion Waiters was a nice surprise last year. Tristan Thompson surprising. Anderson Varejao. And then you add Bynum to the mix, who needs to get paid next year, so maybe he'll have a good season. And look at where they're at now. Kyrie Irving shows up with a broken nose and a black eye. Dion Waiters disappears for a couple of days. And Bynum says he'll never get his burst back. Coach Mike Brown has his handfuls. What do they need to do in Cleveland to turn this thing around?
They got to get some kind of organization going, because it really does look like a mess right now. And maybe that's just a product of having a new coach. We have so many new coaches this year that to get everyone to buy in and be comfortable with their system right away is going to be difficult. I think the biggest surprise is how bad Kyrie Irving's been. I mean, he's had a couple of big games here and there, but for the most part, he can't hit a shot. And if Kyrie Irving can't hit a shot for you, Dion Waiters isn't going to hit a shot. Andrew Bynum is shooting under 40%. He's been, kind of hit or miss just because of those knees. And Tristan Thompson, he looks improved. He's shooting with a different hand this year, which is really cool, but I don't know how effective he's been. And the bench, it's just, Jarrett Jack was supposed to come in and kind of right the ship when the second unit was there, and he hasn't been that good. I like what he can do for them long term, but right now it just looks really disorganized.
They're just waiting for LeBron to come back. Ha, ha, ha.
Right.
Zach Harper, thanks so much for joining us. Of course, make sure you get on CBSSports.com and read his work, and a great follow on Twitter as well. Coming up, looks like Robinson Cano's staying in New York, but not necessarily with the Yankees. His agents were whining and dining with the Mets, and it's trending tonight. Don't move.